One of the things I'm trying to do lately is finish up some old projects, partially so that I can get them off the shelf in the studio and, out to sell or into gifts or whatever I'm going to do with them. But partially because I'm a different person than I was when I began the project. And if you let too much time go by, it's really kind of hard to get back to it. And this is one of those projects. I love, love, love doing these little textile landscapes. They really excited me when I figured out how to put the pieces together, and I love stitching on them. And when I pulled this out last week, all I had was just a row of stitching at the top of each one. And then I decided to start stitching on it. And my stitches went wonky. They always go wonky. I wasn't thrilled with my color choice, but I was working with it during my live stream, and people there were, being encouraging, of course, as they always are. And so I kept going with it and talked about different colors, but, I'm sorry now that I started doing all this other stuff. I'm sorry that I didn't just leave it at just a single stitch here. And I'm sure it's going to be fine when I'm done. But now I'm starting to notice that I didn't attach things right here. There's a split where the fabrics meet. I didn't do enough of an overlap. There's a lot of loose threads. There's, and then of course, let's not forget there's the big mess on the back because I still haven't mastered doing the knots without doing a knot. And so what it is about this piece is it's not perfect. And boy, the perfectionist in me just wants to rip it all out. And I have ripped out the top stitches and finally stopped myself from doing it for like the third time. It's not perfect, and I'm not perfect. And our work shouldn't be perfect because we're human and we're not machines pumping this stuff out like an assembly line. We need to work at our own pace, at our own levels. We need to enjoy the process of it. And I'm sort of glad it's not perfect, even though it's a struggle for me. I tell you, it is an absolute struggle for me not to just put this back in a basket and put it in the shelf, or just toss it or cut it into pieces. I don't know, to do something else with it other than finish the way I had intended to finish. Well, mostly the way I had intended to finish. And I know I can put a mat on this, I can put a backing on it, and it's going to be fine. But right now, I'm struggling with the fact that it's not perfect. And I know I'm not alone. I mean, as artists, there's a great many perfectionists that seem to be attracted to doing art. And I don't know any easy answers to not get hung up on being a perfectionist. For me, slowing down my process has helped a lot. The perfectionism that I'm measuring myself against is not always all the other pieces of art out there in the world. It's myself and the vision that I have of what something should look like. And sometimes that's because I have seen an image of somebody else doing a textile landscape and I want to do one like that. But of course, somebody different doing it from me, there's no way they could ever come out the same. They're always going to be different. And I find that the more I slow down my process, though, it's a little bit easier to let go of wanting to be perfect, because nothing's perfect and we shouldn't want to be perfect. We want to be original. And we're original with our imperfections. Things are unraveling, and that's okay. I unravel sometimes. Why shouldn't my work unravel, right? Don't be so hard on yourself. Don't try to be a perfectionist. Don't measure yourself against some impossible standard that we're never going to reach. And I'm saying you, don't do it, but I'm really meaning me. Don't do it. Susan, stop it. There's no payoff in trying to be a perfectionist. There's just a whole lot of stress and frustration. So I'm going to kind of try to kick that perfectionist to the curb. And I'm going to just keep stitching on my imperfect stitches, on my imperfect fabric that's coming unraveled. And it's going to be good enough, right? It's going to be good enough. It's going to be awesome because I'm good enough and because I'm awesome. And that's okay. Just like that, it's okay. Go out, create, enjoy, do your original work, and be awesome. Talk to you next time.